Alright, my angel, if this video has found you, there is a reason. So stick around, because the angels have a really powerful, potent, strong message and reminder for you today, okay? Let me just get comfortable. I started the video before. Ah! Alright, my love. I've got this feeling that the beginning of your life, you've gone through a lot. That the very beginning of your life, beginning like the first I'm even gonna say like couple of decades, I feel like you went through more turbulence than most people that you've met. And it's almost like you jam-packed, your soul jam-packed all this, I want to say trauma, but it's not so much trauma that I'm getting. Like, it's like your soul chose to kind of put you through so much in the beginning so that it would craft a very specific type of human, a very specific, like, high quality, highly respectful, or also highly respected because of the way that you would then choose to move in your life and through your life. Okay? And I'm getting this feeling that you've kind of you've met a lot of people, okay? You've met a lot of people that have been very successful or have done really well in their lives. And it almost seems like they got an easy route, or like they've been really lucky, or like, ooh. It's like they just chose right. And you almost have this sense of feeling where you feel like it's not that you really feel like you chose wrong, because when you don't look at other people, it's like you feel really happy about the choices that you've made to become the person that you are. But when you see all these other people and their journeys, it's almost like you reflect upon yourself and you feel like you just don't understand your soul's choosing. It's kind of what I'm getting. Like, you're almost like you almost like talk to your soul and you're like, man, like, why did I choose this? Like, why did I put myself through this? Like, why am I where I'm at when like that type of life was available? Why did my soul not choose that easy life, right? Is kind of what I'm getting. And so here is what the angels are telling me so potently. Like, their message for you is that you're not behind. Their message for you is that you're right on time, okay? You're exactly where you're meant to be, and you're literally not behind anyone else. And I'm kind of gonna deep dive into this because this energy that I'm feeling, that like I'm moving through with you right now, is like, it feels like you look at all these other people and you feel like you're not on time. Like, you feel like you're behind. And in the sense of like seeing where they're at and like all this ease that they've created for themselves, or like even the people that you look at and you're like, damn, they fucking chose an easy one, you know? Like, that's kind of the energy I'm getting. But like, you also have this sense of yourself where you're like, you do have very strong awareness and recognition of like, you wouldn't want to be in that position either, though, because of there's just this depth to you, there's this compassion to you, there's this understanding that's like nothing else, okay? And it exists because of the things that you've been through, because of the hardships that you've experienced. And so it's almost like, it's just this interesting like in between, because you don't want to be that naive person who doesn't get it when people talk about their hardships, you know? Like, you feel this sense of like deep gratitude that like when someone's going through something, you can relate with like almost any human being because you've been through so much. Like, you've literally, I just want to hug you. You've been through so much. And yeah, I just feel like there's this there's just this like hard, I think you're in a really interesting transitional period in your life right now. And it's almost like, it's really hard because it's this like, in order to transition, you have to not have that essence of you that looks at other people and is like, damn, I wish I went that way, you know? Because you have already both sides of it. You have the part of you that's like, I don't want that, but like, and I'm grateful for everything that I've been through. And when you really look at just yourself, like there's this part of you that just feels like so grateful. Again, like I've already said this, but like you have that, like when you're not looking at yourself next to others, when you're not being there for others. But there's almost this like part of you that like when you, like you're such a versatile energy. I feel like people just like tell you everything. They tell you the good, they tell you the bad. They just come to you because you're actually such a supportive energy, and maybe you don't even realize how supportive you are, because I'm just getting like this sense of like people feel like they can be their full selves around you, even if you don't feel like you can actually be your full self around most people. And I feel like people feel that way because you don't dumb it down. Like you don't dumb yourself down because you have been through so much that like you kind of have a little bit of like a blatant, like straightforward energy to you, where you're kind of one of those people that just doesn't cut shit, you know? And I get this energy that you're just like, you may even have been told throughout your life that like you're a little blunt or straightforward, or you may have even been called names because people have their own weird perceptions about that. Like you being honest is something other than just straight honesty, right? And most people just can't handle that honesty, to be honest. Sorry, let me just fix this. But anyways, you have this like straightforward, honest bluntness to you, and that part of you attracts people to being their full selves, because they kind of come towards you and they're like, this person isn't gonna like fucking lie to me, like this person isn't gonna tell me what I want to hear, this person's gonna be really real with me. And so that, and them feeling that way about you, they get this opportunity to feel like they can be their full selves, right? Because they're like, I'm gonna get called out by this person if I'm off. And people love that. Like that feeling, like that just feels so incredibly like safe and like true. And it makes people feel like you're in alignment in their life, okay? Even if they've never said that or they don't talk about it, but like they're just like, you know, the real ones don't fucking lie to you. They don't make you feel better. They don't have that two-faced energy where they're like so kind to you up front, but then they would like be differently behind scenes. Like they would also say, like if you caught them talking behind or in another room, they would say, oh yeah, here's what I was saying, you're welcome. And then they would just give you the opportunity, right? Or you would give them you're this style of person. Did that make sense? Anyways, I hope you guys got that. But basically, like, you give these people this opportunity to be their full selves, and so they like come to you and they're their full selves in front of you, and it's almost like you love this. Like this is a gift that you give to people. I'm sure that you feel like really stoked that people always feel like they can come up for you, even though I feel like you also actually see through people a little bit. Like I get this energy that even like I feel like people aren't their full selves even if they feel like they can be, but like parts of themselves that they're kind of like still swallowing, they don't show you, and they think that that it's not obvious, but like for you it's just really obvious. Like you just see straight through, but none of that like is really that important. That's just like something like you just notice that about people. I don't feel like it's really anything you act on or shift towards, but because you give people this like safety net, so many people come to you, right? Like so many people just like, they tell you everything that's going on for them, and it's such a wonderful thing. But there's almost like, and back to like this message in and of itself is where people come to you for the good and they come to you for the bad, but they really come to you for the good. And I feel like the people that you're really such a, I want to say such a saint for, but also just such a guiding light for. Like, you're someone that really believes in people, and again, like, allows them to be their full selves. And so as they're experiencing all these different like levels to themselves and vibrations, oh my god, that's so funny. My best friend's dog is right over there. That's so damn cute. Never seen her out in public without my best friend, so which is really cute. She's a Boston Terrier, by the way, in case that means something for anybody. You know, sometimes messages kind of hilarious. But anyways, so people have been really expressing themselves, and they come to you with all their like everything that's like going so well for them too. And what I'm getting for this message is that all of these different like beautiful things happening, like you're so stoked for them, but when they come at you, almost where like people just like tell you all these beautiful things, like you're really excited for them, but at the same time there's this like, there's almost this like energy that's like boiling inside of you that's like feels like you're behind. Like, and I feel like this is because there's several energies in your life. Oh, this message is gonna get really good. It just got more intense. I just heard that. But like this like energy inside of you feels like all these good things are happening to all these people, and when you see that happening, it's like this reflection that makes you feel like you're behind, is what I'm getting. Or like everyone like has like all these high aspirations, and like these aspirations make you feel like you're not doing enough, or like you're just like behind on the timeline, is kind of the energy that I'm getting. And the angels want me to tell you that you're not behind at all. Like, you're actually so perfectly on time, and we're gonna move into why that is. There was one, what just came to my brain that I wanted to touch on. It'll come back. It'll come back. But the reason that you're right on time, the angels want me to describe to you a little bit about timelines. So we're going to take a couple of different timelines and kind of just break them down. The way that timelines work is that there's a weaving of all these things that you put into the timeline of your life, right? And you chose to have all the hardships happen in the beginning of your timeline, and then it's going to get easier and softer as you continue through your life, right? And it's also gonna, this is kind of like building, like I'm getting this like, I want to say like God's strongest soldiers, you know, like in order for you to become who you are right now and to have like come to the point of like that respectfulness and that just like honesty and like not dealing with bullshit and like all this stuff had to happen to just really build you into this type of character that your soul wanted you to be. And that all needed to happen in this span of like the time in the beginning of your life to build you to be the person you wanted to be later on in life as different kinds of opportunities came around. So let's take that as your timeline, right? Okay, let's move that down and let's pull up another person's timeline. This person also has a warrior stance, okay? So they have quite a bit of turbulence in the beginning of their life, but they only put enough turbulence in their life to get them to a certain point because they wanted to accomplish this thing at this point in their life. But then there's still that same amount of turbulence, but it's sporadically bursted up into their life, right? So we have a chunk here, and then we have that moment where they have this insane like awakening, like beautiful goodness that's happening in their life, and like it's gonna be wonderful. But then there's another chunk of turbulence that rebuilds and basically like reiterates their essence of character to become an even better version of themselves so they can have more goodness later, right? So then they have these two turbulence points, but your line, pull it back up, has one turbulence point and then softness, right? Like goodness, like radio frequency, like positive, beautiful goodness, right? And they have positive, beautiful goodness, but it's like here. So the thing is that you think that you're behind because you're still moving through or have been moving through all that turbulence, and it hasn't hit that point of ease yet, right? But this other person is in this point of ease where they're just like succeeding and like all these beautiful things that they're manifesting are coming true, and it's so wonderful and you're so happy for them. But along the timeline, this time where they're succeeding and where you're still feeling a bit of turbulence is aligned, right? But and that's what makes you feel like you're a little bit behind, right? But then it's gonna soften for you, and over here they're gonna hit turbulence again, so that's gonna slow them back into their bodies, and then it's gonna be the opposite factor, right? So it's gonna feel like you're finally in ease, but then they're gonna be moving through turbulence. So that's the thing about timelines, right? Is that you think that it is some kind of way because you only see where you are at this pinpoint. You're not seeing what's down the line, and you don't know, again, like, you don't know other people's timelines, so you really don't know what's built into them. But what we do know is that you're exactly where you're meant to be, and that ease is coming for you as well, and you're not behind on your timeline. You're actually right on time. Like, you're exactly where you're meant to be, and the angels like are just rooting you on, and they're so excited for you, and they just I just feel like they're sad that you're feeling like their hearts are like so hurt that you're feeling like you're not right on time, because everything is so beautiful right now, okay? And I know that you are moving through so much, and I know that it's been really difficult, and you just feel like you're not gonna make it and be able to do all the things you want to do with everyone that you love so much, but it is written into your timeline, otherwise you wouldn't feel these things, okay? Like, you wouldn't feel a sense of sadness because you want that so badly if you didn't know it was meant for you deep down, okay? There's like something written inside of you that knows that that will come to fruition, but when you're looking at these like statistics, you're just confused because you don't see the 5D platform that we're existing within. Like, you're only seeing these numbers, you know what I mean? And so it's always going to be difficult when you're taking a 3D platform and you're trying, or a 5D platform, and you're trying to look at it from a 3D perspective. And the angels really wanted to come through here to be able to remind you that you're doing so wonderful. And you're exactly where you're meant to be. And I know that there's a million things that you can worry about, but there's things that are crafting the essence of you right now that are so much more intricate than you even realize. And the thing, I can feel from the angels that later, or at another point upon your timeline, you're gonna feel so fucking grateful that everything happened exactly the way it did. Like, take an example right now of like 5 years ago, okay? Think about what you were going through 5 years ago. Aren't you so beyond grateful for 5 years ago and what you've learned from that experience? Right? I know I am, for fucking sure. Like, the things I went through 5 years ago, and even in the past 5 years, like, they have made me so much more intelligent and so much more educated and sure of myself, and so much more of who I am right now to even be giving these messages, right? Like, 5 years ago, baby Frey couldn't do that. She didn't know how to give a message. She didn't know how to speak from her heart. All she knew how to do was a lot of other things, but not this, right? And this is the thing that's made me the most happy right now in this turbulent time that I'm even going through, right? This is my pride and joy. This is my happiness. And like 5 years ago, baby Frey didn't even know how to find her happiness. Like, she didn't even know that she could listen to herself and find it. And so for you, like 5 years ago, that crafted such an essence of your soul. Whatever you were going through, like, it doesn't even matter what you were going through, but 5 years ago you went through something, you know what I mean? And even if it was beautiful, or it was turbulent, or it was diabolical, or whatever the fuck it was, right? Like, whatever it was, like, just brought you to this union and version of yourself that is who you are today to even be finding this video, to have your angels that can connect you to this video, that have sent you this video, right? So just think about any time that you're feeling this like behind energy and it's like becoming a block for you when it comes to being able to be there for the people that you love the most in this world. Just let that go and think about the fact that like whatever you're going through right now is building a version of you that's gonna be so epic 5 years from today, right? Like you're literally becoming the most incredible crafted essence of your soul that you ever could imagine. You just don't even like realize that yet because you're just still moving through it. And that's why your soul asked for all of this, was because your soul wanted this type of like opportunity to develop itself in a way that you haven't before. That's why it feels uncomfortable. That's why you get so distraught in yourself, right? And it's all because your soul knew that you needed that soul growth, and that's how soul growth happens. It's because you're literally digging into areas that you've never dug into before in a new way that you've never like accessed before. And it's building this epic version of you that's meant to live this lifetime out and just like create the magic that you're literally meant to create. Okay? There was something else I was really gonna touch on, but I don't remember what it was. I randomly thought about my friend Abby, and she is one of my angels in life, and she literally has taught me so many things. And I was with her a couple weeks ago, and she said something to me. It was so beautiful, but it came through for a second, and then it left. Well, maybe it'll come through in another reading. But anyways, I love you so much. And if I can remind you of anything right now, I just really want to remind you that you're right on time, okay? You're exactly where you're meant to be, and you're doing the very best that you can do with everything that you have right now. And that's enough. That's enough. You're enough, and you're not behind, okay? You're really, really not behind. I love you so, so much. And if this message resonated with you, you're gonna have to let me know. I will see you in the next message.